Hello friends and bees and friends who are also bees. I have forgotten how to stream, so bear with me a second. I'm still getting set up with everything, so you're just going to have to be patient with me. Let me open up my closed captions. There we go. Good lord, that took a while. Hello friends and welcome to this week's Final Fantasy XIV stream. I am back after my week's break. My hands are back to normal. They're still not great, but they're definitely back to normal. We'll see how that goes. And yes, welcome. This week in Final Fantasy XIV, we are going to be doing the remainder of the stuff that we have left over to do from previous patch thingies. So we've got Ruby Weapon to do, which I'm currently queuing for. Then let's see if there's a party finder for it actually. But we've got Ruby Weapon. Nope, it's all fucking normal modes. How rude. We have got to finish the unlocks for, God, my brain, it's like sludge at the moment. My brain really is like sludge at the moment. Just swap over to the gameplay. Probably be better, easier for me to concentrate at least, and my camera's working again, which is good. What have we got to do? I've got Ruby Weapon, which I'm queuing for. We have got the relic weapons. I'm pretty certain that when I go into solo instance it will kick me out of the queue, so we'll see what I can do. And then we've also got Odin, and I think that's like got us pretty set up for 5.3. We've done Yoha, we've done the bridging quest. The main thing is getting Ruby Weapon out the way. So hopefully that queue pops sooner rather than later. But when we left off last week, we were in the middle of unlocking here we go. We were in the middle of getting the relic weapon unlocked, so let's go do that, shall we? Also of note, so I do have a fresh piercing, so I may be doing this a lot to try and air it out a bit. And I've also got this, which you can sort of half see. It is extremely dry and peely at the moment, so I'm going to be grumbling throughout. Because even though I moisturised it about 2.5 hours ago, it is still really dry. And boy howdy does it ever itch, and I keep having to tell myself off from poking it, and like the desire to pick at the flakes is so strong, and I know you're not supposed to do it, but I want to anyway. Man, there's so many farms going on. Out here on Odin. I should probably join some farm parties to get him his mounts at some point. I don't think he has any of them. Only the Sasano doggy, because it's the one that you can buy. Other than that, he literally doesn't have any of the mounts, so I should get him some. Anyway. I'm pretty certain it's going to kick me out of the queue when I go do the Sid mission. If it does, we will queue for Ruby while unlocking Eden. Oh, let's keep going. God, I hope people are queuing for it. It's so annoying when this sort of thing happens, like... Who's available? Not many people are around. A lot of people are AFK. Yeah, lots of people AFK. Nah. I do not imagine he sympathises with our plight, but from what when we left off last week in the unlocking the relic weapons, not Sorrows of Werlyt, Jesus, the Gunhild's blades, we had gone into Geralt's memories to see what's going on, and then we were like, oh, but we don't know anybody who has a memory of the palace. And then our body, who has future echoes, had a flash forward of us investigating Sid's memory, and they're all unhappy because Sid's dad was the one who instigated the disaster. And so we're all grumpy about it, but we've decided we have to go get Sid. Do not imagine he sympathises with our plight, but from what I gather, he has no love for the Empire either. If that will suffice in persuading him to aid us, then so be it. I hear that engineers stationed in Rolga's Reach. Perhaps you can begin your search for Garland there. I will go to Rolga's Reach. Because over here, you get one of my favourite characters in this game. Oh, I'm sorry for the yawns. I'm not even that tired. It's just, in order to like not want desperately to itch my arm, I've started like working ceaselessly through the day, which like works, but at the same time doesn't, you know? Oh fuck, I should unlock. Let me go grab Savage while I'm here. I guess I just like forgot to do that. Have I done the elf escapes? I thought I have. God knows how I managed to do that. Hi Jesse, I'm going to talk to you in a minute. We're just going to unlock Omega Salvage because apparently I forgot. Pretend like I'd done this already. Already have ceased to exist. I'm keeping a record of our savage encounters. Get you good night and sweet dreams. A shard's face. I did all of this with the pom on, so doing unlocks with a character who has an expression or like makes expressions is unique to me. Should I like make a party finder for normal? See if anyone wants to help, or should I just keep queuing? Hi, I hope you're doing well. Say, aren't you a shard? Savior of Eosia, Liberator of Alamigos, so on and forth. Name's Lildra, newest recruitment to the Ironworks. What can I do for you? She's my favourite character in this entire game. Chief, too busy by half according to Jesse. Between you and me though, I think it's a load of... Do go on. A load of what? Saying what a load off your shoulders it must be, knowing the chief is back from whatever he was doing. Speaking of whom, a shard said he wanted to speak with him about... what was it again? God damn it, Lilja. You may hear better than most, but you've got a terrible listener. Would you mind starting again from the beginning? Well, I need to take Sid because I need to look inside his memory. Missed him. So his ward is due for maintenance, and he had a mind to oversee it personally. That said, any matters concerning you are top priority. I'll see if I can reach him. Ring, 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 ring. Banana phone. To put the hand up like this, like they've got Bluetooth speakers. Takes a average day for you. It must be hard. Always having to put on a brave face as you're thrust into danger. People taking you this way and that like some sort of errand boy. Not that we don't appreciate what you do for us. Goodness knows I do. In fact, well, you see, I'm something of a fan. I knew the Ironworks worked with you on occasion, but I didn't think I had the chance to meet with you in person. Can I shake your hand? Liluja, Sid being back to gloat over my shoulders, not yours. Don't you have work to do? Right, work. Duty calls, but hopefully we'll meet again soon. I love Luta. Chief says he'll meet you at the Doman Enclave. Not the most convenient of locations, but it'll have to do, I'm afraid. Ooh, intriguing. Bozja incident, something of a small sop for the Chief. Even if it was an accident, most people outside the Empire remember it as a massacre. Chief tried to put a stop to his father's experiment, but his plea fell on deaf ears. Even now, he still blames himself for it all. I should have tried harder, he'd say. I could have saved him. I could have saved all of them. All that genius, and the man can't find a way to forgive himself. Sid's man pain, boo-hoo. Aiming to go digging through his past? Be careful. I dread to think what demons he's got locked away in that brain of his. Like, I like Sid perfectly well. He's a perfectly okay character. To me, I've got no problem with him. It's just that, like, this game is like Sid's man pain. Just, like, bring back more Lilita. We finally, after 10 minutes, got another DPS in the queue. No. Love queuing for stuff. She's tough as Magitech armor plating when she wants to be, but her heart's in the right place. A shame she's always so busy. As you, if I'm not mistaken. I won't keep you any longer. Best of luck. Skill speed is probably what I want. Chief said he'd be meeting at the Doman Enclave, didn't he? Well, best not keep him waiting. Ah, once again, I forget how to get to the Enclave. God, my arm is so itchy. See if I can, you can sort of see it there. I can't really twist it all the way around yet, but you can, it's upside down as well, and I can't show it off the right way up easily. Ooh, nice, that sounds really cool. Yeah, my arm is horrendously itchy, as we in the bits would call it. I'm in the hellish PD stage. A bee from a Discord I'm in, out in the wild. Anyway, I'm in the PD stage of tattoo healing, and my arm is really itchy, but it is, it seems to be doing really well. It's not too dry either. Must have Garland? Yes, I've seen him pacing about. Here he is, the man, the myth, the legend. Hard to believe this place was until recently occupied by the Guardians. Doma has a long way to go before it regains its former glory, but they're off to a good start. So I've heard. If the Bozjans wish to follow the Doman's lead, I plan to do whatever I can to help them. I've already spoken to Lord Ian and agreed to divert part of the Ironworks resources to assist in Doman's reconstruction. The offer seems to have taken him by surprise, but I assured him in addition to the Ironworks commitment to freedom through technology, I have my own reasons to reverse the destruction wrought by the Empire. While it's true that I eventually defected, I played no small part in development of Magitech now used by the military. Sometimes it's the threads you can't see that have the strongest ties. Would that I could cut them. Well, don't we all have, And how did Lord Ian take your response? I shot like bulldozers straight through. Talks have focused mainly on the reconstruction, as we thought it best to wait for your arrival to discuss how I might help the Bozjans. If it could have made my father see reason, there would have been no Bozja incident. But I was powerless to stop him. I'm really excited to do this, so I decided to make my third ult, my Bong and ult, I decided to make her Bozjan. You're right, there's time for wallowing in self-pity and a time for action. I plan to do whatever I can for the Bozjan resistance, but they're up against the 4th Legion. If they're going to stand a chance, their allies here in the east won't be enough. They're going to need all the help they can muster. I'm not entirely sure what part I'll have to play in all this, and I doubt anything I do now will be enough to atone for my past mistakes. But if it means throwing a spanner in the Empire's works, then count me in. So yeah, I made one of my ults Bozja because I was sort of, I knew she was going to be from one of the areas taken over by the Guardians. I just hadn't decided where, but in light of this, I like making her Bozja, and also because whoever has need macro. there's like, at least Nasija seems to be native Boshan, and Roganin. Like, it sort of seems to be everyone around. It's mostly Hrothgar, but not entirely Hrothgar. So, like, decided. Okay, cutscene warning. Let's do it. Hopefully it doesn't kick me out of the queue. If the queue pops, we'll just skip as much of the cutscenes as possible. Ruby is the thing that I really want to get done on this guy. I figure if the queue hasn't popped after like half an hour, I might just put Party Finder together anyway. So there's just Sid and Makoto explaining what's going on. Makoto accidentally does a flirt and we all giggle at her. Makoto is so cute as well, for that matter. If you're ready, I'll begin our exploration. Think back to your time at Bozja Citadel. You needn't focus on a specific memory if it helps. Alright, just promise me you'll be careful in there. I think I may have accidentally skipped some dialogue, but we'll find out once I've got a chat log up. Oh no, I didn't miss any. That's okay then. I'm really excited to play on my Belmongol. I'm saving her for 5.3 because I want to do the ARR remake on her. I just don't know when I'm gonna have time. I've got 5.3 to do on 2 characters, and I still have loads of stuff I want to do in Destiny before Season of Arrivals ends, so... Itchy arm... Got one line here that's faded a bit, which is really annoying. Bugger, right. Fine. So many things, not to mention like out in my real world I've got like 2.5 weeks to hand over 3.5 years of work and like practices and shit, and then I have got to move my entire life down to London and then reduce it as much as possible and move it to the other side of the world. So this is Bozja Citadel, right? At least I think it is. Was everything so distorted when you tested it before? Recollection of this place appears grossly incomplete. I can but assume your memory is being wrought by a subconscious. Well, I'd rather not stand around labouring over details. Let's look for the transmission tower in the Principia. Anything of import would have been stored in there. It's time for Sid's brain jellyfish. See that? Military base pit out of thin air. Or out of my mind, I suppose. I do like this music. It is extremely funky. What in the world? The road, it just ends. To appear because you mentioned the Principia, and consequence of your incomplete memories. You have to think back, Sid. Where did this road lead? Seems absurd. Recalling Citadel shouldn't be so difficult. Do you remember where the troops were heading? Not specifically, no, but they were on edge. Something to do with the Academy's research. Try calling the cityscape. Remember the blue of the cobblestone streets? If not for the occasional miniaturation, it would have looked like any other city. Wait, I remember. You've done it, Sid. The road has returned. The road has returned. Should be able to reach the Principia if I keep heading north. Look, there's the transmission tower. Keep forgetting when I'm not being able to tell if it's Makoto or Sid that's talking. Because I'm stupid. Damn it, road is cut off again. Come on, Sid, you have to remember. Sorry, Ashad. Try as I might, my mind's drawing a blank. Maybe there's something around here that would jog my memory? Psychological stimulus to prompt recollection. Yes, that might just work. I am to the remains of Magitech armor. You can tell I've been playing too much Destiny because I sort of automatically hit shift to run when I'm going in between areas. God, my arm itches so badly. Weapons and Magitech armor? Right, the fighting had already started and I was... Well done, Sid. Let us press onwards. It's all starting to come back to me now. And it's all coming back to me. Tension in the air is palpable. I love the Guardian theme, by the way. I really like it. Oh, right. The soldiers were on high alert that day. Bozjan resistance had infiltrated the Citadel to stop the Academy's experiments. Do you suppose it's possible we can tamper with this memory? Curious question. One I believe investigating. Worth investigating. Shall we? I really like the Guardian theme because it's so like... I guess because of the context you hear it in, but it just instantly it feels bad. It's like, I don't know, I guess it's like hearing the, like, it regardless of how the song actually feels, or how it actually is, it just feels bad because of the context that you know it in. All that effort for nothing? Henry appears to be mending itself? Interesting. Altering memories is easier said than done, it seems. Well, let's keep going. Okay, but I'm ready to go into Stardiver, so you best believe I'm keeping Dragonside up as much as possible. I love with it bring it up to 30, you basically got, like, here we are, the Principia. Inside is the transmission tower. Infinite Blood of the Dragon. Speaking of Infinite Blood and Dragon, what in the seven hells are these? Could they be a manifestation of your subconscious? If so, they likely seek to suppress your memories of the Citadel, meaning they intend to purge us from your mind. We cannot let them. They're Sid's brain jellyfish. They're called antibodies too. I love it. Strong. Is there no end to them? We have to hold on lest they succeed in erasing us from Sid's mind. You ever do something stupid and then instantly afterwards you're like, that was really done with me. That's what I just did. Oh, and it's Exaflare's time too. Just to make shit even better. Like just saying get out. There we go. Anyone else? Curious we could defeat these but not the soldiers earlier. Perhaps because they are not truly part of this memory? We can worry about that later. Come on, we're nearly to the tower. is they have a cool part. I don't know if you got to this yet, E. Just a little further. They have a cool part at the start of this talking about like explicit and implicit memories and like how, for lack of a better phrase, how it works. It me. It was Muhammad on main. Man, I just instantly get emotional when I hear this song. This has to be another attempt by subconscious to stop us. Please, Sid, you have to pull yourself together. Are you sure I'm not suffering from sudden onset of psychosis? I will be if you keep going and making me wish dragonite. We've no choice but to fight. Otherwise, the subconscious will repress the memory. So it's like, I can't move. Seems to be having adverse effects on Sid's psyche. Quick, Ashad, we have to stop it. Please save me, Mikoto. Run! Running and yelling! Running and yelling! Sorry, Makoto, really making you stress yourself out here. Careful, I like not the looks of this. Oh no, could his psyche be deteriorating? Ashad, look out! Oh god, I don't know where's safe to stand. Except possibly like nowhere. Please save me, Makoto. Fuck. I tried. Very badly humming along. God, we're safe. Somehow. yelling. You love to see it. There we go. Oh man. Go back to answers. Thank you. I feel better now. Perhaps your nice subconscious will be more forthcoming with the truth in this memory. I was enjoying answers there as I hummed along badly. Is that Sid? Do you recall this happening? Poke poke the Sid, Dad. Father, oh, so angry that day. Father, please, you would just look over this data. Enough, damn you. Next time you question me, it shall be the last. Now leave. You of all people should understand the risks. Why do you refuse to see reason? At least we know he was always short and always wore an oven mitt. Man, I should update my timers. It's rather unlike him to overlook data, no matter the source. Look here. You, I mean, he left behind his documentation. Pick up the research documents and find page after page of meticulous calculations and observational data on Dalamud. Young Sid posits that the Nessamine may very well possess the ability to harness and manipulate solar power. Moreover, the vast source of energy it has amassed over the millennia, should they be unleashed, would far exceed any parameters the transmission tower may have been designed to withstand. By the gods, this data, the Empire would invite a calamity. So many sleepless nights spent on those damned papers, all for nothing. If my suspicions are correct, then he was already... never mind, let us press on. The truth awaits. Timers updated. Hello, Tryhard Nation. Good name, interesting. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good day. We are in the middle of doing a couple of the unlocks for mostly 5.2 content, but past 5.x content on my alt, to get ready for 5.3 next week, which I am very excited for. It is, I like it. In the meantime, Sid's going to get shot. Whoops, spoiler alert. My main is on Fairy, this alt is on Odin. Know your place. Know your place, whelp. Meteor Project cannot, will not, be stopped by something that I missed. Too many blokes speaking, I can't do all these voices. Young Sid is so small. No, this is wrong. Emperor Solus couldn't have been there. Thank you for the follow, it is appreciated. Ooh, nice. I really hope you like it. Shadowbringers, in my opinion, is his best expansion. You've also come at a really good time, because next Tuesday, the ARR remake is coming out, which is basically smoothing the sort of first section of the story to make it more cohesive story-wise, and also easier to get through, because at the moment it can kind of be a bit frustrating. So you've come at the perfect time for that. But really, this game only ever gets better, so I really do hope that you enjoy it. Sid, you mustn't forget, this is only a memory. Just bear in mind, big spoilers for the most recent expansion going on here. I've finished the stuff that's relevant to the main Shadowbringer story, but it's spoilers for 5.3 stuff. Well, 5.12, but going into 5.3. That is fair. I know the feeling. Sid Garland, bringer of ruin, herald of ash, your father must be proud. How does it feel to know such calamity follows in your wake? That failings bring death to all you hold dear? Yep. Glamour is the end game. People can make a whole load of money on fancy glamours. I'm planning on buying an apartment for this character once future housing areas come out. And I was like, right, before I spend all my money on glamours, now you would sit this filth on me. I think is what he said, but I skipped it accidentally. But I was buying him lots of glamours for his alternative classes, and it's like, nope, gotta save money. One fate awaits those who oppose the will of the Empire. Trauma is too much. He's lost control. But this memory is false, Ashard. Perhaps you can alter it with the echo. Ashard's like, oh, don't make me use the echo. I don't want to do this. I really like this because of the implications that it has about the fact that we're summoning, like, our friends, Reen at least only exists on the first, into the source in our friend's memory. What was your greatest strength? Instilling in others the courage to rise up, the courage to fight what's right. Rise with me, rise with me, rise with me, rise up. Rise with me, rise with me, rise with me, rise. Rise with me, rise with me, rise with me, rise with me. Alex really did have the best music. Makoto also says, there they are, the replica of Gunhild's blades, which is what we're here for. Anyway, it's pretty cool, and I like the idea of this also being like an introduction to the idea of, oh, thank you. So good to have a real tank doing tanky things. Sure does, Reen. The idea of having, oh fuck, I messed up my positionals. Only one positional, I messed it up. Ah, fuck. Having a bad... Venus, you eat Gilhus says, taste my steel. Beep. What's he doing now? The die is cast. This is going to leave a mark. Alfie says, careful of his blades. I say, I missed a thing and I'm stupid. I'm bad at video games. Yeah. That. Do this. So it's time for some double weaving. If I was passing right now, to live as to be a soldier, is what that ability means, by the way. Oh, I was just about to phase. You dare defy me. I can take the brunt of it, but I'll need a little help. Me wasting my blood of the dragon. Piteous worms, there'll be naught of you left but ash. So glad Yorionche does the bubble, because he's, by thy leave, actually a bubble shield, unlike, Ishtola, who bubbles as a white mage, and it's like, you don't have that ability. Right, she's a black mage now. I guess, oh, I forgot, if you're a tank, you Um, words. You do that bit, and Thancred joins the DPS. Which I think is pretty neat. Please stop turning him, Thancred. You're a melee, you should know better. Ah, fuck. Arm's length. Ah. At least they didn't need to arm's length me. Thanks, Alize. You're the only good one amongst them. Absolutely nobody else tried to help me, just Alize. Oh, cat wrecked me. Ah, slow. Really? No, slow. Bad. It's wind. Can also mean like there is wind or wind is happening. But I like the it's wind for the bluntness. Right, well you hoes better move because I'm a melee, which means that I'm allowed to drop my areas right in the middle. There's only Reen I've got to worry about, she'll be fine. Watching him do Alias, like, that's not your ability. Thanks, Yorianche. You're the real... I nearly called him the real MLG. MVP is what I was looking for. There we go. The Empire cannot, must not. Man, I wish we could bring trusts into trials. I would absolutely do Cinder with a trust just to, like, get it done, you know? Don't worry, Varys. The Empire will fall, and you will be killed by your son for no good reason. Not that I'm salty. This isn't right either. Emperor Lord Varys, he wasn't there. The Academy was given full thingy. Oh yeah, this is definitely a spoiler stream for most recent content. Those events are as you remember them. This is not the truth. Not entirely. Whoever this is, your mind has been trying to protect you from them. Whoops, definite. And I just accidentally turned off my second monitor. Only this game. I have not completed a single... Is that... Hang on, let me double check this. Is that true? Yeah, I've never completed a Final Fantasy main game. I've completed the spin-off of Final Fantasy XII, and I completed Dirge of Cerberus. Have I completed any other Final Fantasies? Don't think so. I got like maybe a third of the way through FF3. About half the way. Just by doing stuff, to be honest. Isn't Varys, who the hell is it? Who could I possibly have to hide from myself? Doing anything, I would focus a lot on side quests. You can also use them to level up your classes. If you do, once you can, if you do, what are they called, levy quests, you'll get them for individual areas. I did. Sid, look, his eyes. You can use chocobo porters, which are a bit slower, but they're a bit cheaper. And one of the other things that they're doing is if you sort of hold off for about a week, no, it can't be, introducing a bunch of teleport tokens to make it a bit easier in the first chunk of the game before you find a later area. The other thing I do, if there's somewhere you find yourself going back to all the time, set that as your home point, and then if you do /return, you can get back really easily. If contact with Delamod was able to stir Bahamut to consciousness, it stands to reason the Dread One discovered a way to link the tower, and thereby basically his dad has been hypnotized. Nothing can be done for him. There is no arguing or reasoning with such individuals. There is only the will of a primal. Completely forgotten the name for when they get hypnotized by primals. And if Bahamut was controlling your father at the time of the accident? I played like 5 minutes of FF12 and I could not get my head around the controls. Sid says, my man pains. But I got the spin-off because I only had a DS when I was younger. So the truth finally comes to light. I can't remember if I bought FF12 yet. It's one of the ones that I've been meaning to play. I just haven't got around to it. Time. Video games. Playing 2 MMOs and a full-time job basically means I have no spare time. So maybe it'll be easier when I'm a student again. I really want to play it. It's not the game itself that made me stop playing. It's not the case for any of the Final Fantasies I've given up on. It's been the controls. 10 and 7, I both got to a fight that I kept dying at and I got fed up and decided not to play anymore. I think it was the same for 3 actually, and I think I just could not get my head around the controls of 12. Which is weird because I'm sure I've heard loads of people saying it's like one of the easiest ones, but I wasn't very good with my PS2 to be honest. Bahamut's thrall and no one was any the wiser. Well, like, that's how it be, Sid. That's how the primals work. I remembered another thing. If you do Fates, Try Hard Nation, they're like the public events that you can see popping up about the map. Crazy bastards did it. Once Makoto's described inscriptions to me, I'll have those weapons forged in no time. If you do those, you'll also get out of that, and it's a good way to level too. On behalf of the Bozja resistance, you have my thanks. I'm just glad I could help. Ever since that fateful day, the truth of what befell our loved ones had eluded us. I held the Emperor and your father responsible for their part in the tragedy, and for many years that hatred was all that kept me going. I mean, arguably the Empire was to blame. Indeed, I was blinded by that hatred, so much so that even you appeared to me as an enemy. I could not see the blood, sweat and tears you had poured into bettering the lives of those seeking freedom from the Empire. I could see only a Gallian, and for that, I am sorry. See how heterochromia? It's really cool. If you can forgive me, let us be allies. Come now, I'm the one who should apologise to you. After all my father and the Empire did, even if not all of their own volition, the crimes will never be forgotten. I'd hazard even victory over the Empire won't be enough to ease such pain. And even now that I know the truth behind the Bozja incident, all it's done is made me question the choices that led me here to this moment. But regardless of the past, we have to keep pressing forward, one step at a time, for freedom. Just as the heroes of old would have done. We Bozjans grew up on such tales of fearless warriors full of heart and unwavering in conviction. Yet here we are, so full of doubt and certainty. Will we ever earn our place in the pages of history? Shard's like, I've already done that. Cheer up, Basiljan. If we live long enough, perhaps we'll be the ones to write it. Sit, so I'm no longer sitting like a gremlin because I'm hurting my back. I'll be so sad to give up this desk chair. I don't know, I haven't decided who this desk chair is going to. I am, but only really on my main. I don't have a static on the light data center, so I'm probably not going to do any savages on this. Say the crystal focus was blah blah blah, something I missed. Pay what stores of ether residing with it have been depleted. I would not expect our exploration of your mind to be such taxing endeavour. Once identified, for fuck's sake, not now. Thought the Alliance could use it to extract information from the cooperative guardian captives, but nothing's ever that easy, is it? I'm afraid ethology is beyond the scope of my expertise, so I'll leave the rest to you. If you need anything, don't hesitate to call for me. Thank you for all your help, Master Sid. A static is... I better head back. I've got a mountain of work waiting for me. Good, and actually do your work, Sid. I know what it's like for Jessie. Before you go... Makoto will do her accidental flirting. It's basically like a group of people who you raid with sort of multiple times or like often over and over again to get content done. So I have a static over on Fairy that I raid with. If you ever feel lost, you can always talk to me. I don't want any related problems, you'll be the first to know. I love Sid's like completely... Makoto's attempt at flirting just goes completely over his head. Makes me laugh. I really must get out to work on the crystal focus. On Fairy is on it's on Ether Data Center, and then I am currently on Light Data Center. I also have an alt on Bolmung, which I cannot remember what data center that's on, but I haven't touched them like at all. So, right. Let's see if Ruby wants to pop now. Still, I might put Pathfinder up. Everything is at last in place to begin work on the weapons of Queen Gunhilda's guard. Master Geralt will be able to apprise you of any further progress in their forging. In the meantime, we'll begin preparations for battle. I look forward to seeing you on the front lines. You know I'll be there. Having completely missed out on the last time around, I'll definitely be there. Before they split the EU data centers, it used to be the same server, but unfortunately. Meanwhile, in Dalmasca, which is where my Bolmung ult was originally going to come from, and then I decided to make a Bozja instead. Meanwhile, on Damascus, 4th Legion are causing problems. Spies at the Gangos encampment have confirmed work on something. They're welcome to them. Who has needed such trinkets when the Lady of Blades will soon be at play? We'll proceed as planned. When the forces reach Bozja, you know what must be done. Understood. Empire has faded to all. In its place, a new nation shall rise, grander and mightier than anything the Guardians could ever have dreamed. And it shall be made possible by the very power they abhor. Yeah, this game has a tendency to reference other games. In the Stormblood raid series, it was a lot of references to FF12 and FF Tactics. So FF14 really does. I wonder if I just had the bad thought, which I'm sure is what I thought last time around. I reckon the Guardians are going to, achievement unlocked Inception. Guardians are going to try and summon Queen Gunhilda as like the right, I need to do something. Here we go. Chat. Yeah, I really do need to like the looking for, sorry, I'm looking for specific command while we wait for Ruby to pop. Okay, take care. Do enjoy it. I love this game a lot. I really do enjoy it. Obviously, since I brought 2 characters through it and I'm planning on bringing a 3rd through. So, I really hope you enjoy it, and keep an eye out for the ARR remake coming out next week, next Tuesday, because that will make the ARR experience much smoother. So, take care. I'm glad you came along. Thank you again for the follow. I really do appreciate it. Sorry that you get the boringness of me scrolling through trying to find like a specific control. It must be here somewhere. How to make chat goes over. What's it all? Targeting the shortcuts. We can just enjoy this music while we're here. Screen. Not any of my hot bars. At least we've got more people than we did last time. Right. I'm gonna look up a thing quickly, bear with me. Here we go. Help me, internet. Okay. Wonder if I can... Okay, good. Ready to get working the resistance weapons? What's your resistance weapon? For Dragoon. That's what I want to do. Like the name, resistance weapon. Crossed my mind to call him Gunhilda's Blains, but after talking with Messenger, we figured it'd be too confusing seeing as it's also the name of the Queen's Guard. Any road, your timing couldn't be better. Before we get to working in earnest, I was hoping you could tell me a bit more about what went on at Sidsnoggin. I've heard a fair bit from Makoto, but I'd like to know if you saw any different. It was pretty awful, that's what I'll say. Sounds like I was right to ask you before setting to work. It seems to me those fancy markers of the weapons are mainly for show. I can copy them, but that won't be enough. Like as not, they were carved into the hilts as well. And to make sure the spell can take hold, you need to finish with a fine powder, what's conducive to ether. When you're like that, you need to consult the alchemist of Radsat Han. And I can think of only one person with close contacts there. Rowena? I like Rowena. I have the Demonessa coin. Not to worry, lad. Just so happens she's been keeping up a steady supplies here on contract. If saying you need the powder for the resistance, might be as we can convince her to waive the costs. She ain't usually wanting business for charity, I know, but it's worth a try, eh? I'll see about getting in touch with her, and after I do, you can go and meet with her and figure out the rest. Oh, I can almost... Don't expect me to go meet with her, do you? Working on the resistance weapons kept me too busy by half, and Drake here, what was your name again? Zlatan, that's a girl. My name is Zlatan. More importantly, what if Mistress Rowena doesn't agree to a charitable contribution to our cause? Sure, you and Basil didn't ask nicely she might come round, but never mind that, we've got important work to do. I asked her where to find Rowena before she left Vangos. She said she'd be stopping over in Kugane on business. How about having me you at the Umineko tea house? For lucky, a nice cup of tea will brighten her mood. Instant flashbacks. Oh, Umineko. Right, let's get Savage unlocked. Considering I followed you, a sense of inspiration is run dry, you see. It's my hope that change of scenery might offer the impetus my work requires. And time again you've proven a knack for finding fascinating locales with equally fascinating stories unfolding soon after. Right, let's do this. I should very much like to hear it. Please pop. I already clicked commence, so... Mind to the dear companion? How thrilling, compelling. Please, tell me more. I'm so glad Ruby finally popped. God, my arm's so itchy. No, I'm not allowed to poke at it. I'm not allowed to touch it until I wash it later. Should make a macro that just puts into party text. This is my first time doing this on Melee. Teeth. Enemy detected. Commencing attack. I really like this song, even it does sound like it's saying big fat tacos. Or beef soft tacos. Okay. This, I believe, is raid-wide. Yep. Okay, well, I'm dragon sighting with myself then. Oh god. It's fine. It's fine, I nearly got ability locked, but it's fine. Why on earth? Why would you res the DPS but not the healer? Anyway. I think what it's trying to say is something about the Heart of Sabik, but it definitely just reads as beef soft tacos. No, come back! My dragon side. Ah. This is a tank buster. I remember that much. Flaming lasers. Can't remember what this does, so we'll find out. Now I can dragon sight with you. Sexy claw, is this butt crack? It is not. That's still undermined though. How the hell do you... How are you meant to keep up uptime during Undermine? I don't understand. She does split in this form, I think. I just can't remember where. I haven't farmed this in ages, so... Butt crack. Shift. You can refer to it as cleavage if you want. I just saw it once referred to as like stand directly in the butt crack and then you're safe, so... Skipped out to try and get a God, oh. Anyway, but the bit that I miss is preparing combat data, subject honors, deploying claws, anti-icon weaponry restraints removed. You wouldn't even see them coming. Commencing high-speed velocity assault. Ah, such speed, but I'm still in control. God, I forgot we had 2 res mages. Bless you, res mages, for always saving the day. Anyway, I'm pretty certain it's saying something about the heart of Sabik, but it just sounds like beef soft tacos, so... That's the world we live in now. Singing about tacos. I love it when the boss moves and ruins my positional. Please target who I tell you to target. It is not difficult, and that is what I'm asking you to do. Don't think that one counted. I did it? Oh, it did. Nice. I'll crack it up. Go. You know how long it took me? It took me like several wipes for somebody to be like, hey, yeah, you need to stand like right here. And that's it, guys, the fight's done. Can't be. The ruby weapon is unstoppable. I'm sorry, everyone. This is the end for me. Activating Oversoul. Increase pilot override rate to 100%, commencing forced shutdown at system restart. Synthetic Aurosite switching to Oversoul mode. Loading data sample. Dana's combat ready. Data combat ready. Initiating organic core overwriter. What? No, get out of my mind. Stop. No, I'm not Dale. I am... Pardon me. I am Snail Van Darnus. Come to purify this forsaken land. She's squidgy like a snail too. And the best news is she doesn't have any positionals. God, Meteor Stream hits hard even on normal mode. Yikes. Sorry, I'm being really quiet, I just realised. It's just because, A, I really like this music and I want to enjoy it, but also because I really do have to concentrate. Even without positionals, just remembering the fight and then also remembering what it's like on normal versus like what it's like on Savage. Just because I haven't farmed it, I haven't farmed the Extreme in ages. Okay, this is a tank thing. Ow. At least it's not a wipe like getting hit by the comets in Stream. God, my arm is so itchy. Ah, one of our red mages is still alive. Dalaman did fall. I know it to be true. Oh, brother, Nail, your name shall live on for eternity. Just save on to LB3. Almost there. Someone LB3. Thanks for saying it, Tank. It's true when you should say it. Hunter LB3 now. No, don't cure. The tanks will invul. There we go. Christ alive. Thanks, Katsumi. I shall see your ambitions fulfilled. Ah, so close. First time we've missed DPS, well, at least we start in the second phase, so. Ah. God, that thing hits like a truck. So I'm having to be really careful now. I am definitely not really good enough to be doing this. I might just go buy myself a full set of the latest crafted gear. Better to do that rather than like grinding it all out. Jin Ether gathers on the firmament. This is for tanks and healies to pick up. Ha! That worked somehow. Christ, that. I hit a star dive without thinking, and I was like, I'm going to die. Anyway. Ow. Too squishy. Thank you, Pugsworth. please. Oh no. The healer accidentally LB'd. Oh no. Fuck, I knew I should have done it. If this party falls apart after 3 wipes, I'm gonna be so pissed. Ah, 4%. Well, I'm not leaving because I want to clear, so... Boy howdy, Katsumi, I sure am trying to do more DPS. Yeah, no. Sorry, I'm in party chat, which my face is covering up. I'm so used to being a range that someone was like DPS, and I was like, well, clearly one of the melee should do it. Not thinking, I am one of the melee. Oh my god, I've forgotten all of my buttons. Every single last one of them. Just gone. That on. Please heal me. Thank you. Diamond really does hit like an absolute truck, so... Ah, I was caught by burst that time around. Rip. Right, if nobody else takes this one, I will. I'm hoping one of them will. Because I'd rather keep DPS up. I am once again fucking up my rotation. Right. Did fool. Know it to be true. That looked extremely cool, and I'm so proud of myself. That's all. God, my DPS is so bad. please. Keep having to tell myself, like, not only am I new to meleeing and dragooning in general, my gear is also, like, way worse than everyone else's. This is a solid carry. There we go, Christ. Phew. Well, I'll calm one of the res mages because... But howdy, they sure tried. They did their best. I've not got anything to queue for. Well, after this I'm going to do the Eden unlocks, but then I'm not going to have anything to do when I queue for Eden. Maybe I'll do like the fairy unlocks or something. Even from afar, your figure is unmistakable. As ever, an impressive team. Though I am sure you will concur, ultimate weapon pales in comparison to this new monstrosity. The research is allowed to continue. The next mode will be nigh unstoppable. With that in mind, the Alliance has enlisted the help of... Wait, I hear something. Reason number one, guys, isn't allowed around children. Here to sift through the remains of the ruby weapon, are you? Ali, what do you think you're doing? Oh, I forgot, I had auto scroll turned off. Ali? Father? It's been too long, Alphonse. And you too, Rex. Good name for someone, Rex. Given that the Empire is proceeding with the weapon project and making inroads into Eorzea, I suppose it was only a matter of time until our paths crossed. It's wonderful to see you again, Father, though I can't say I think much of the company you've been keeping. I know a lot happened, but I'm glad you're right, and now you can come back to Garlemald with us. My days serving the Empire are over. Because you're suspecting of assassinating Emperor Varus? But we know you'd never do a thing like that. There must be a way to prove your innocence. Then everything can go back to the way it was. Shot's like, fuck. Too much echo use for one day, the poor guy. So you found Edie shivering on the roadside when he was going through Werlyt. Lucky for you, eh? If he hadn't, we'd probably be dead by now. As for us three, our parents all died in the epidemic. We'd still be begging on straight corners if it wasn't for him. I guess this was the way we could repay Lord Gaius for all the kindness he's shown us. He fights for the Empire, so we should too. That'll make him proud of us. You're saying we should join the army? I don't think that's such a good idea. Everyone in Werlyt was scared of the Garleans. Why would we want to be like them? Lord Gaius is different. I know he is. No, he isn't. He just turns his ideas against other ones. He always says the strong should lead the weak. Maybe that's why he took us in. Alright, if becoming a soldier is what it takes, I'll do it. Who's with me? Count me in. And maybe one day people will look up to us like we do Lord Gaius. Then it's settled. From now on, we're all brothers and sisters fighting for the same cause. Brothers and sisters? Then that would make Lord Gaius our father? Father. Well, if he doesn't mind us him calling him that, I suppose so. And that makes you a big brother since you're the oldest. You better be nice to us or I'm telling father. Ha! Guys has a thing for small aura. I mean, they are adorable when they're that little, but still. God, my arm is so itchy. It itches so bad, I just want to scratch it. That's all I want in life, is to scratch my arm, and I know I shouldn't, but I desperately want to. Father, since you went away, a lot's changed in the Empire. For us too. If we'd known that you were still out there, still alive, none of this would have happened. What do you mean? The truth is... Perhaps I should, if you must go, I will not stop you, but ask me this. Who is piloting the ruby weapon? We all know that Dale Van Darnus has not returned from the dead, even though it's entirely possible for them to have done, considering how everyone else does. Including you, dipshit. Who do you think? It was Melisandre. No, I refuse to believe that. She's so small. Little nubs. I refuse to believe you would let that happen. She was a sister to you. To all of you. We only wanted to finish what you started. And while we will never forget all of you have done for us, the next time we meet, it shall be as enemies. Goodbye, Father. As for you, hero of Eorzea, you'll pay for what you did to Melisandre. I swear it. You're the ones who put her in a weapon, bro! Sucks that I killed your sister, but I wasn't the one who put her in the weapon, it was you who put her there. You put her in a weapon knowing that Eorzea was going to send their champion to fight it, and then blamed the champion of Eorzea for the thing that you knew was going to happen. I feel bad for them because they are clearly brainwashed by Gaius and by the Gallian Empire, but, at the same time, we weren't the ones that put her in that weapon. We weren't the ones that started the program. We were doing for pretty much our job and had no idea there was anybody even in there. Anyway, I blame Gaius. Oh god. Can't escape him. He's here too. Well, Gaius Van Shithead. We meet again. Come to see how your precious weapon project has been proceeding in your absence, have you? You have come to collect data on the ruby weapon, correct? The pilot, Melisandre, should be inside the cockpit. I will ask Valdelin to escort you to the wreckage. Any idea who this Melisandre is? An imperial crony of his, perhaps? His adopted daughter. One of the orphans. Gaius did always have an eye for talent and a mind to nurture it. In fact, Livia Sus Junius was another protege of hers, and look how she turned out. Great. Even took me under his wing when my father became obsessed with the Meteor Project. Strange that I felt closer to Gaius than my own flesh and blood. Then my father and countless others lost their lives in the Bozja incident. Although he was acting under Emperor Solus's orders, he masterminded the whole thing. I begged him to reconsider, to put an end to this madness, but my words fell on deaf ears. That's when I turned to Gaius for support, but he was as much at the pawn of the Emperor as my father, and refused to intervene. And when my turn came to serve, I defected and fled to Eorzea. I do like Sid, I have no beef with him, it's just getting Gaius as much as in him, perhaps even more, for the barbaric acts carried out in the name of the conquest. But when we met at the Praetorium, all that hatred had been festering inside of me seemed to fade away, and I remembered the man I once respected. Good for you, bro, but I think the dreaded Black Wolf was a mere plaything of the Asians. He left him broken and disgraced, having sent thousands of his men to early graves. It's more than most could bear, and now the lives of the children he raised hang in the balance. Any personal grievances I have with Gaius can wait. Best gather what information I can on the ruby weapon, but I'll be back as soon as possible. I don't have that much sympathy for him, because it's you did this to yourself, dude. Cockpit range attacked. We may be able to glean information from the pilot. Sid, as I remember him, it will not take long for him to finish investigating the remains of the ruby weapon. He never was one to waste time. Like, a friend of mine got a pug in a run of Prey once, who was like, Sid creates weapon of mass destruction. Weapon of mass destruction is massively destructive. Not Sid, sorry. Gaius, shocked Pikachu face. And I feel like that summarized my entire feelings about Gaius throughout. Like, I'm glad that he feels guilt, but at the same time, it's like, he adopted these kids, he groomed Livia. He probably was trying to do the same to Sid, to be honest, even if it was sort of purely emotional. Certainly for Livia it wasn't. Or like emotional platonic. Livia had a different feeling, certainly, than Gaius did, which is that shit don't develop, that shit doesn't happen in a vacuum. Clearly he adopted all those kids and practically brainwashed them into being part of the Empire. And he, like, I have no sympathy for him. I have a prognostication / hope that at the end of Ruby Weapon he will sacrifice himself to like save one of the kids, and he'll like put himself in the cockpit, and then we kill him and then he's dead for good this time, and we see his body and set it on fire to confirm. Maybe not the latter, certainly the former, but I can't tell if that's prognostication or just my deepest desires. But maintenance is still in the field, but there's something I thought you should know right away. It's about the pilot. I'm not sure how to tell you this, but if my Sandia is dead, I only hope she was not made to suffer. Death would have been a kindness. In all my years, I've never seen such a perversion of science and nature. Her body was fused with the ruby weapon's core. Those last moments must have been spent in pure agony as the very life's essence was drained from her. So she was sacrificed to power that infernal machine. We must act quickly to prevent the Empire from committing further atrocities. Ashard, is there any other information you can share with us regarding the ruby weapon prior to its deactivation? Nail Van Darnus? Did the Legatus mean that much to Melisandre? From what I gather, it sounds as if data based on Nail's combat capabilities was used to override the pilot's consciousness after she was fused with the core. If this technology is perfected and the Empire begins implanting the memories of renowned warriors such as the White Raven into its soldiers, the Alliance won't stand a chance. Such a thing even possible? A similar method of transference was used on the prototype Estonian fort, wasn't it? A friend did mention you overheard the Signify loading various sets of data into the test models during the battle. It would appear that the system has been improved since then. While it may bear some similarities, we don't know for certain until we've analysed the wreckage of the ruby weapon. It cannot be denied that combining combat data from an experienced soldier with the powers of the Icon has yielded remarkable results, but in doing so the Empire has sunk to the very depths of depravity. This is beyond forgiveness. For once, I agree with you. Yet one question remains unanswered. How were they able to obtain data on someone who supposedly killed prior to the calamity? That's what I'm trying to determine. There is one possibility I'd like to explore, but I'll need to carry out a more thorough investigation first. Several will provide support while you're in the field. Not only is she extremely well versed in the latest Ingalian tech, but there are a few soldiers I'd rather have watching my back. I'm guessing possibly they went into Bahamut to get that because she's Bahamut 11. In the meantime, Volden and I will follow the ruby weapon's tracks back to its point of origin. We will learn what we can of the weapon project and the manner in which Alphonse and the others are involved. Should we uncover anything of value, we will relay it to the troops stationed here. For now, I suggest you use the Sol and Garland activity to recuperate. Would I be correct in guessing this belated reunion with those darling orphans of yours has stirred up memories of your time in Garlemald? Remember our agreement, Gaius. If you so much think of impairing your Imperial Masters, I will kill you. I like this guy. I like him a lot. I hope he doesn't turn out to be evil. He probably will, that was an evil face, but I like him. The prevailing theory for who was going to be the combat data for the next one is regular Van Hydrus, especially given that it's the Sapphire weapon and he is Van Hydrus. Mind you, I don't know what Darnus had to do with ruby weapons, so... Just looking, I'm having a goog, as the kids would say. Okay, well, Donus is fake Latin, clearly, and not real Latin, so doesn't really mean anything, but that's okay. Put down the ruby weapon? Gods, I wish I could have seen it. Not from too close, mind. Suppose you should report news of your victory to the higher-ups. I realise you must have been through quite the ordeal, but could you give me a quick summary of the battle? Make it sound so easy. From the way you tell it, anyone would think you stay hulking brutes like that for a living. I'll put all of this into a report and leave a copy over there should you fancy a bit of light reading. Anyway, I expect you've got more pressing matters to take care of, like going for a celebratory pint. If the Guardians pluck up the courage to come knocking again, we'll let you know. Until then, rest up. Love all these meanwhile and Golem old cutscenes. Is that do we know which legion is doing this? We know the 14th Legion is the ones we fucked up in Eorzea. I can't remember what legion we were fucking up in Doma. 4th Legion is Bozja. Are these guys the first, I think? We should have told him the truth. He'd be able to help us. I know he would. That's exactly the problem, Ali. If he knew the true nature of the weapon project, he'd find some way to interfere. We've come too far to back down now. I won't let Milisantia's death be in vain. Brainwashed! Even if that means going against Father's wishes. Brainwashed! Cheer up, Alphonse. We can go back to being one big happy family after we've dealt with those pesky Eorzeans. It'll just be like old times. If only it were that simple. There's no guarantee any of us will make it back alive. Excuse me? I think you're forgetting whose turn it is next. Oh, you've little faith. With me at the helm of the sapphire weapon, it'll be over before you know it. Whatever happens, Rex, promise you come back to us. I couldn't bear to lose you, too. I'm guessing we'll have Ruby Weapon and Jade Weapon, and then maybe Diamond Weapon will be the 4th one. How many Four Lords were there? Because we didn't have to fight Genbu. There was just Tiger Boy. Let me have a look. Desayu. Yeah, so it's Tiger Boy. There's a 3. Only the 3 trials. So if Sapphire, I'm pretty certain they said Sapphire was going to be solo instance. So that means one presumes that Jade and maybe Diamond are... There's 4 of them. There's normally only 3 fights though, so I don't know what will happen to the 5th one. Anyway, we'll open up Savage. What's the most exhilarating battle? Never dreamed that I'd have the chance to see such ferocious war marking it with my own eyes. Might find it odd that citizens of Eorzea would be so excited by something sent by the Guardians to slaughter us in their thousands, but as an avid follower of all things gigantic and mechanical, I just can't help myself. Oh, to be able to pilot such a majestic creation. Perhaps I should defect to the Empire and offer my services. Ever since the time of the original Ultimate Weapon, I've fallen in love with the fusion of Allagan and Guardian design. It takes my breath away. So much so that I use my spare moments at the Ironworks to develop a line of miniatures. And now your recently vanquished foe shall be the inspiration for my next endeavour. Would you do me the honour of casting your greys across the piece once it's complete? Don't blame me if I smash it to smithereens. Do you say something? Whatever it is, I'm sure you're offering heartfelt words of encouragement. It's the support of fans such as yourself that make this such a worthwhile hobby. Proud to say my work adorns the homes of many like-minded Machina lovers. Ultimate Weapon and Magitech Reaper miniatures, to name but 2 of my creations, are especially popular. Of course, I wouldn't be much of an engineer if I only made inanimate objects. Behold, I've restored this elegant relic, added a few flourishes of my own, and delved at the real virtuality combat simulation experiencinator. By feeding it various pieces of data, such as images of my replicas and so on, it's able to recreate a range of combat scenarios. For such purposes, of course. Not entertainment, oh no. Can see you're practically champing at the bit to give it a try. No stopping you, intrepid adventurer types. Won't be long till my latest work is complete. All that remains are 1 or 2 final adjustments, so don't go anywhere. Weapons. It's more than me hobby, it is the wind in my sails. Fine choice. Please allow me a moment to prepare. I like this way of unlocking the savages. Face to rise in the likeness of the Crimson Conqueror, the Vermilion villain, the Scarlet Scoundrel, the one and only ruby weapon. Sure you remember, its most prominent characteristics are impregnable armour, plating, adroitly depicted here, and those long flexible claws, which well, you just have to imagine those for now. The head and arched neck are somewhat reminiscent of a ravenous void zone, which may be the result of having absorbed primal, possibly even one summoned by those resisting the Empire. In that sense, it could even be considered an ally of some sort. The chest looks it's very Bahamut-esque. There I go, getting carried away as usual. I can tell you've absorbed about as much information as you can handle for now, so why don't we fire up the real virtuality combat simulation experience-inator. Best brace yourself, because even I don't know what's going to happen. I do really like this song, I have to say. Tacos of beef, soft tacos of beef, tacos of beef. This is also the sort of music that I listen to in my own time, so. Right, swap back to Bozja. Speaking of fucking Guardians up. We'll return there in a second and go unlock Savage. Now that I've done these all, I feel more confident joining a learning party on Arshad. Maybe I'll have like an Arshad does Savages day. Was wondering when you show up. Carol told me everything. I love Rowena, I think she's great. We stan a businesswoman. Luckily for you, my business here was at the Thavnarian consulate. Here you are. This should be enough powder for one of those resistant weapons you're forging. I got handed to Geralt. Seems to spend half his time getting deeper in debt and the other half awaiting payment. Fine by me though. Thanks to a schemer, I've a little more leverage over the resistance, and by extension him as well. We stand a businesswoman. Pass along a message to Geralt and Basildon for me, won't you? If they require more material for these weapons, I'd be more than happy to supply them. For a fee, of course. Same goes for you. I know you adventuring types are always looking to be prepared for any sort of encounter, so if you're thinking of forging another of those resistance weapons, and I suspect you are, you know where to go. I'll see to it my guards and revenants told and idle try to keep their shelves stocked. Until next time. Turn to the Enclave. Got something in my eye. God, I can't believe 5.3 is next week. Holy shit. I wanted to do an early stream, but I have to go into the office a lot next week, so I don't know if I'll be able to. Man. I just find it kind of whack that it's, like, legit next week. Ugh. Especially after we've been waiting for so long. Like, I don't blame the devs for it. I'd rather them be, you know, at home and healthy, and, like, I find it, you know, frankly, it's a miracle we were, like, able to get an expansion at all, given that a lot of places still aren't allowing people to go back to work. So I find it impressive we've got an expansion, but there's also a large part of me that's like, might watch the trailer again to like get back in the mood. spend my Tuesday lunch break, like, watching the summary of the trailer again. Patch notes soon. When's the patch notes reading? I thought I'd got them all. Have I not? Is there another one that I'm missing? 2, 3... Oh, I need to teleport to the Enclave and then I can teleport there. I see. Cool. Hey, Geralt. Give me the fancy weapon. Just needs a nice coating of that powder to finish the inscription. Thavner was another one of the places I was thinking of making my old beer from. Of course she bloody found what we needed. Much as I hate the fattening a purse with another man's coin, at least now we can do our part for the Resistance. You can do your part for me. Whistling them. Teaching myself how to whistle again. Feast rise to some of my finest work to date. Best of all, the inscription will react to your ether. Right fine weapon to rally the Bozjans. Drelzag, sorry. I reckon Gunhild would be proud. I might keep this as my glamour for a bit, actually. That I should behold the glory of the fabled Danes born anew. Hope is not yet lost. All in a day's work for your old pal Geralt. Of course, this is only the beginning. Skills of the hand were truly a sight to behold, Master Geralt, and to see a child wielding one of the holy blades thus, it is as if I stand before one of the heroes of Eld. When the time comes to do battle with the Empire, our brothers in arms will look upon you and know courage. On behalf of the Bozjan Resistance, I offer you my humblest thanks for your aid thus far. You are welcome. Love to start fresh another weapon, but I had to use every last morsel of the powder on that one. Meaning we'd find ourselves indebted further to Mistress Rowena were we to acquire more. I must consult Basil's Jen before we proceed further. Looks like we're taking a short break then, eh? If you find yourself wanting for another weapon though, come and speak with me, I'll be here. So we can get these relic weapons for all of our level 80 classes. Flagon of Ale tonight, to celebrate the Forge Run, of course. I don't have any other classes at level 80 though, so I can't get any more. But I might go buy a whole bunch of powder when I do. It is really nice. It just... I think it just doesn't match the rest of my glamour. It's also not as good as the Astro weapon. The Astro weapon is by far and away the, like, standout relic weapon. Whatever, I'll stick with it for now. Let's go unlock Savage. Faris. Battle fought in the mind of a dear companion? How thrilling, how compelling. Please tell me more. Spectre of the late Emperor Varus, suppose even a figment of one's memory, assuming sufficient creative liberties are taken, will prove as fearsome as a man of flesh and blood. Admittedly, I cannot claim to have witnessed his prowess firsthand, but who has not heard tales of his savagery, his unparalleled might? Pardon me. I do believe inspiration has struck, my friend. The brutal battle of words which preceded a nightmarish clash twixt the Emperor and the realm's great liberator. You would dare approach me thus, Lord Varus scoffed. Where men of greater strength than mine both would flee, you dare commit to such folly? To which the liberator coolly replied, how else am I to smite thee, save, approaching? Good reference. Admirable attempt, if I'm still learning my letters perhaps. Seems my prose yet wants for inspiration. Might you humour me with a more detailed account of your confrontation? I require a more vivid picture if I'm to do justice to your deeds. Sorry if I'm sitting weirdly, it's because I'm sitting weirdly. Sad Memory Extreme has now been unlocked. That is how you can get the armor, I believe. an achievement for extracting stuff. Right. Now, I feel a calling. I need to go back to the first because it's Eden time. I doubt I am going to get through all the Edens today, but I shall certainly try. It's reset day, so people might be running them, but they may also not be because it's, they're not really super relevant anymore. Anyway. He said, here we go. God, my arm itches so badly. Have you seen Reen? She's been looking for you. The thing with itchy peelies is that there's nothing you can do except suffer through. Like, you've just got to deal with it. Wait here, I'll go and get her. Oh God, Lord, the itching though, the itching. If you don't have a tattoo, imagine you've got really bad sunburn and then it starts to peel and you just want to like peel at it, but you know you shouldn't. There you are. Truth is, I need your help. Hold on, I haven't even told you what it is yet. After you defeated Emmett Selk, I sensed a strange concentration of light somewhere far to the south. In the empty, the lands that were once swallowed by the flood. Can't tell what it is, but we have to find out. For all we know, it might even be another Light Warden. But whatever it might be, I don't intend to stand and watch. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Thancred, Yorianche and I have a few theories we plan to test once we find out whatever's causing this. The three of us were reluctant to ask for your help, considering everything you've been through. Thing is, you're the only person who can defeat a Light Warden without becoming one yourself, so we have no choice. When we don't want to jump to conclusions, it'd be a good idea to have you there, just in case. So will you come with us? Perhaps we should let sleeping dogs lie. See your point, but if we choose to ignore it, we should at least know what we're ignoring first. And there's no harm in taking a look, is there? First of all, let's head to the Derrick and Amarang. Thancred and Yorianche should have everything ready by now. I like that Reen's like, hey, Ashad, I know everything's terrible, and you just want to rest, but we need your help. And Ashad's like, not again. I don't want to turned off my second monitor again by accident. I really don't want to leave Reen by herself in the source. I know she's got Gaia, but I really don't want to leave her behind. I wanted to, like maybe she'll be able to come visit us the same way we can visit the source because of her Minfilia powers. I doubt it, but like, I hope so because I really don't want to leave her there. And we don't know if, our other friends will be able to, like, visit her, like, Dadcred. I thought I'm not going to say it because it's bad. Sorry to drag you all the way out here. I have a feeling you'll miss this place when you see where we're going next, though. 'Tis a blessing to see thee so hail. Whoops. I do love the music out in Amarang. I hope the desert creatures didn't give you too much trouble on the way here. Doubt they posed any sort of challenge to him. Would that I could say the same with confidence about whatever fiend may be waiting for us out there. Even if the light that Reen sends turns out to be nothing of consequence, the empty is hardly the most welcoming of places. Anything that could survive out there is not to be trifled with. Moreover, it should be reiterated that the Light Blast Wasteland poseth as severe a threat as any foe we might face. In any event, we are in agreement this phenomenon doth warrant investigation. Though for lack of more precise means of navigation, we must needs rely on Reen's innate abilities to guide us. I formed several hypotheses regarding the nature of the light, but speculation is a poor substitute for first-hand hiccups. There'll be plenty of time for us to talk about it on the way. Is the Sky Slipper ready, Thancred? This is a mount you get from Eden 4 Savage, by the way. Ready to take us wherever we need to go, Back again too, maybe, if we ask it nicely. It's a little car. The light have been expunged from Northrend. The ambient ether of the empty is still corrupted. Dangerously so, in fact. The flood of light devastated everything in its wake. The soil, the air, the flood, all rendered incapable of supporting life. It is due to this imbalance that the empty remaineth utterly uninhabitable, even a century thereafter. That's why we're taking every possible precaution. Between the etherometers I packed and Reen's unique abilities, we should be able to detect and measure any fluctuations in our alignments. According to the Crystarium scouts, a few days out there won't affect us to any noticeable degree, but much longer than that, and we risk becoming sin eaters. Since we still don't know how Chocobos and Omaro will fear in the empty, we opted for a more mechanical mode of transportation. This comes courtesy of the researchers at the Mean, who found it on the Crystal Tower and restored it to working order. It's so cute. Quite safe, I promise. Person in charge said I'll have parts delivered from the Crystarium should anything break. He seemed quite eager to see what we bring back from the empty, even though I told him we're not hunting for treasure. I'll introduce you if you ever have a chance to stop by Mordzook at some point. Anyway, I think that covers everything. When you're ready to leave, just say the word. Though the flood of light is believed to expunge all traces of life from the empty, we must remain ever vigilant. We know not what we shall find. While I'm piloting and Reen's navigating, you and your Shay will be free to enjoy the view and engage in rousing conversation. By that I mean he can spend the whole time talking at you while you nod in agreement. Well then, shall we? I'm sure we'll spend the whole thing napping. That's what he wants to do in the desert. He's a lizard, so he wants to take his armor off and, like, curl up in a sunbeam and vibrate softly. Name like the empty. Wasn't expecting much in the way of pleasant scenery, but this is downright depressing. To look on the land swallowed by the flood with mine own eyes, 'tis a chilling sight indeed. Approximately 9/10 of the world are as this, a slate all but wiped clean. Were it not for the rise of darkness and Infilia. Reen, are you sure we're headed in the right direction? I'm certain. There's no telling how far away it is, though. Nothing for it but to keep going then. You two back there may as well take a nap. I have a feeling we're good for miles ahead of us. Sean's like, yeah, nap sounds good. It really is just, like, the worst kind of desert where there is not even, like, nature or anything to look at. Pretty depressing. Oh, a spot right on my chin. It's a touch larger than I was expecting. And is it sleeping? Spot right here. This reminds me so much of that one dungeon where you crash. No, it's waking up. I don't like the sound of that. Is it a light warden? Don't think so. It said it being filled with light. It is light. The first Sin Eater. Long have I strived to unravel the mystery surrounding the flood of light, to discover what set that terrible cataclysm in motion. Every thread led to the same conclusion, the same single point. This is clearer if you've done the capstone, by the way. Or single being. I have reason to believe the entity we see before us is the very first Sin Eater, the instigator of the flood, the very foe Infilia vanquished a century ago. She gave everything she had, and won. But this abomination could undo her work. Aye, the possibility cannot be denied. The Buddha's have said that structure and creation are but two sides of the same coin. Reen, knowest thou of what I speak? The power to shape reality, to bend the laws of nature, for what was once shattered may be forged anew. That's all well and good, but don't you think we should give it a name first? Eden. Utopia in Fae. A most auspicious title. Man, I just got chills, not just because I'm cold. Now that's settled, perhaps we should find a spot to set up camp. Even brought a couple of tents on the off chance, but pitching the damn things is something of a fine art. Anyone fancy helping me? Shot's like, I'll pitch your tent, alright. He's much more serious in this game than he is in other incarnations of him. In other incarnations, he tends to be more flirty. I think it's specifically Shadowbringers and the being stuck far away from home for so long and how odd that is. That's why he's so, like, he's much more serious now. Slowly but surely he get back to his flirty jokes there. Frequent rest may allay the symptoms of prolonged exposure to empty ambient ether. It would be unwise to linger here over long. Where are you at, Thancred? Light-footed prince. Out investigating, I guess. Never realised putting up tents could be such a bother. Still, I'm glad we got there in the end. Thanks should be back from scouting the area soon. Once he's here, we can plan our next move. Discover valuable artifacts. We exchange for equipment by speaking with Gulgur or Yal and Yulmore. Okay. Thancred. Wonder what's taking Thancred so long? Ah, there he is. What's the tea? As it were. Well, that was rather uneventful. Not that I'm complaining. Did you find anything? No, thankfully. There's naught but barren plains in every direction, apart from Eden, obviously. Tried approaching it, and the brute didn't even seem to notice me. I thought it best not to tempt fate, so I withdrew. We should act now before it's fully awake. Meaning what, exactly? When I think about the flood of light, I get the feeling that rather than destroying everything in its path, what it actually did was stop the flow of ether. Of course, that meant that all of the plants, animals, and people here can no longer survive. They must have crumbled to dust in the years since. But the ether is still here, lying dormant. If Eden is the one that caused it, maybe it can get it flowing again. I don't know for certain, but I think I can use Eden to bring life back into the empty. Now hold on a moment. What makes you think that's even possible? And how do you expect to control that kind of power? Reen's aspirations may not be as preposterous as thou dost surmise. I believe Minfilia halted the flood of light's advance not by destroying Eden, but by silencing it. And in doing so, she hath gifted us an opportunity too precious to waste. Even now, the flame of hope burns on. The soul still burns. As Minfilia's successor, it standeth to reason that Reen doth possess the means to exert her will over Eden, but such a monumental task is not to be taken lightly. What sayest thou, Washard? I imagine this is easier said than done. Yes, you're probably right, but I have to try. Very well, Reen, you've made up your mind, so how should we go about this? I have an idea. I've been studying it carefully ever since we arrived, and it seems to me the light is more concentrated at a certain point. Suppose you could call it the core. That giant Talos had a core too. Like a beating heart, it controlled the flow of ether. If Eden's core is the same, perhaps we could use it to restore the etheric balance? The theory is certainly sound. By employing Ethernet shards as beacons, perhaps we could trace the ethereal flow to Eden's core, and in doing so secure the means to teleport to the very heart of the beast. Thankfully, the settlement council has kindly furnished us with a plethora of apparatus by which to perform such means. However, we must first have Reen study the entity's interior and chart us a suitable course. Once you've reached our destination, I shall fabricate a means by which you may directly communicate with Eden, and mayhap exert a measure of control over it. You can really do that, Yoriyoshe? All credit is due a dear friend, a gentle soul long since departed who imparted to me a wealth of knowledge concerning etherology. Although I'm certain she will be all too quick to chastise my methodology. Excuse me for interrupting the trip down memory lane, but I don't imagine that Eden would be too happy about us rummaging around in synods, for want of a better term. In all seriousness, though, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of welcoming party for intruders. Perhaps you'd best lead the way, Arshad. It's true he's the only one who can defeat Lightwarden, but I'd rather not rely on him any more than we have to. But I haven't forgotten what happened when he absorbed too much light. But as Alice said, making promises you have no way of keeping is not kindness. I wish I could put down wardens myself, but the simple fact is I can't, and there's no point pretending I can. That's why I'm asking Arshad. Perhaps I could... You already have a job to do, remember? The only reason this plan even has a chance of success is because of your involvement. We need you to concentrate on the task at hand and guide us to the core. Not only that, you'll have to keep an eye on Eden itself. If we somehow manage to make us angry, get us out of there. You sure you want to go through with this? For lack of any better plans, this one will have to do. I won't let you down. They will remain here. Reen and I shall do our utmost to guide thee along the ethereal stream. After thou hast reached the exterior, we shall remain in contact via these link bells, courtesy of our comrades in the Crystarium. Being relics out from the Crystal Tower, I fear they may be somewhat less reliable than those to which thou art accustomed. Oh, my hair's so short. Makes me so happy. It still falls like a bit in my eyes, but nowhere near as bad as it did before. And I can't like part it down the middle and be an e-boy anymore. Right, I'm gonna guess the key for this is gonna take forever. But we will give it a goddamn go. Or maybe not. Teleportation apparatus has been calibrated successfully, and I believe the probability of irreversible disintegration to be relatively low. We're ready when you are, Ashard. Okay. Get the bloody thing lit. Must be because the ether has stopped flowing, just as Reen said. Though if this plan of hers actually works, I might have to stop calling this place the Empty. It was nowhere near as bad as expected. I feel like I probably queued longer on release day. And I was playing this on reset day as well, I think, so. God, the desire to pick is so bad. Can you guys see how gross and, like, peely this is? Be careful. Huge amounts of ether are rushing to the core. Wait, what's that? I never noticed the pulsating before. That's really gross. I bet Eden 12 will be like this, but reduxed. That is a tank buster. Odin Demonicas. Eden's gravity is raid wide, if I remember correctly. God, I really am squishy. Just want to bring these apart. Drop them not on anyone or anything. So tanky things. That's a tank buster. Can't remember if that's actually 2 hits or if it just looks like it. There we go. Don't have either of my jumps up there, how rude. Whoops. Absolutely fucked up my Rotation there. I also absolutely missed my last Strand because I'm stupid. But that's okay. If I go any further, I'll be in the bad zone, so it's not. Let's not re-emphasize that we didn't. I can't remember if these two can be AoE down. I guess they can be. Say goodbye to my Blood of the Dragon. Actually, this is so cool. I really like this this effect. This is reference to FF8, I believe. And apparently it's like the full actual transition from 8. God, I'm so squishy. Sorry, I squeaked because that off-tank nearly murdered us all, and by us all I mean me. Oh god. Sun is so dumb. No, it's fine. Everything's fine. I may have wasted a bunch of my dragon sight, but that's okay. Whoa, somehow I wasn't hit by that despite solidly forgetting where to go. Also definitely hit the wrong button once again because I'm dumb. Nice and easy. Look at that. can go your own way. Go your own way. I'll roll need on everything. Because if I drop anything, I may as well like try and use it, you know. And I shall calm that healer. Who's gonna win the bracelet? Come on, who's gonna win it? Actually, there's no point. I already have all Neogish Guardian. I might be able to get facet jewelry. Or I have earrings. That's what I want. I don't care about that last one. Anticipated some form of resistance. I did not foresee even generating a small replica of itself. To think that a mere fraction of its power could manifest such a powerful adversary is frightening indeed. It seems we'll have to wait for the ether within Eden to stabilise before we can all teleport to the core. It seems Sankra's prediction about there being some sort of guardian was right. Thankfully it was nothing you couldn't handle. And I'm glad to say you haven't absorbed any light either. So far, so good. Now that the way is clear, the Ethernet shards can send us to the core and back whenever we need. Why don't we give them a try? Static ground and waiting is hardly my forte, though I dare say I'm more suited to this than whatever Ange is do. Now process is now in place, a number of minute adjustments must need to be made for more attempt to assert control over Eden. Once your has activated the device, it's my turn. Direct hit, baby. Always direct hit. Big chunk just came off, so satisfying. The time hath come, Reen. Watch over me, Minfilia. Is this supposed to happen? Eden is offering considerable resistance. Not now, not when I'm so close. Yorianche. I am unharmed, but what of Reen? No, you listen to me. Reen, be careful. I'm intrigued by what Eden is, other than like the first Light Warden. I guess it was just like, it's almost like a sort of a light primal, I guess is what it is. That's over, but for how long? Beast theory has subsided. What? I'm in control now, I think. Although I'm now linked to Eden, I still need to figure out how to give it commands. Pray tell, what caused it to convulse so violently? Must have been when Eden rose into the air. I'm still struggling to stop it from drifting too far from the camp. Even now, thou art... Reen, what's going on? Above us, something's coming this way. An enemy. But how dost thou... could it be a Sin Eater? Can't see them clearly, but no, that's impossible. What is it? They're inside too. Lots of them trying to reach the core. Uninvited guests, eh? If I'd known they were coming, I would have tied the place up. Jake's a poor substitute for a viable stratagem. In that case, I suggest that you and I deal with the ones who are already inside. And Ashard can welcome our airborne adversary. Reen, find out if Eden has any defences we can make use of, preferably ones that don't recognise us as the enemy. Not sure about that, but I can use ether currents to send you wherever you need to go. That's my girl. Right, everyone, we've got work to do. Also, Yonjay, you're wrong. Japes are always valid. From what I can tell, Eden is able to form simple structures by redirecting ether, so I'm trying to give you something to stand on. When you're ready, head to that portal over there. But on that delicious cliffhanger, we are going to end things off here. I am going to say thank you very much for watching. It is very much appreciated, and I do hope that you enjoyed. I will be streaming. I may or may not be streaming tomorrow. If I do, it will either be Destiny or Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I'm just not sure yet. I desperately need to finish AC Syndicate. I'm too busy playing Destiny in all my spare time. But on Thursday, it will be our very first stream of Higurashi When They Cry, Tsumi Horoboshi, which I desperately hope I'm pronouncing correctly, which is the answer arc to Onikakushi Hen, so it's way back to the start, and seeing what went wrong all the way back then. Then on Saturday, it will be starting a new series. I am starting Nier Automata. That's right, literally just before the next section of the Yoha raid, which I'm really intrigued by, I'm actually starting Nier. I am going to have to put this on a break when I move in September, but I am going to at least start it, and we'll see how long it takes me to get through. I just feel like the time is right to finally play it. Then on Sunday, it will be Destiny 2, where we shall be... there's no new seasons of Arrival Story this week, so we will be continuing to catch up on older things, seeing how it goes, and then finally next Tuesday will be more Final Fantasy XIV. It'll be an earlier stream than usual, it'll be a longer stream than usual, and we will be doing as much of 5.3 as I can on Maeve. So take care everybody, have a wonderful evening, do look after yourselves, be excellent to each other, and I shall see you guys possibly tomorrow, and if not, definitely Thursday.